Well, hi, my loves. I wanted to come in today and do a live about my most recent video upload. So I wanted to, let's just see if anyone is in here. Let me just see if I can play around with these filters for a second. Okay, I think it looks fine, normal. So I wanted to come in here today and I wanted to do a video on my most recent upload. I just uploaded it today, and it was the mindset of a committed man. And I did this video last night with my partner and and I was very hesitant in posting it because this is something that is in my private group, and anyways, I think you guys can see me. Make sure you guys can see me and let me know if you guys can hear me and everything is all good, because I'm still learning this technology stuff. But so I did this video with my partner spontaneously in my private group the other day. It's a VIP group, and like Peter and I just kind of showed up because I was helping one of my private clients with the situation she's been going through. And I was messaging her on WhatsApp, and I wanted Peter to chime in a little bit, because as much as I know about men and dynamics, like hearing it from the horse's mouth, so hearing it from him is just invaluable. And I know how much that would, if I was in your situation, how much it would mean to me to have Peter's insight, right? Especially because he is the man that I communicate about. He is a very healthy, masculine energy man, and hearing his insights are, oh my God, it's like invaluable to hear his insights, right? So let me just see what's going on here. Okay, well, I don't know if this is working, but hopefully you guys are here. And if someone wants to just say hi and let me know you can hear me, that would be great, because I would love to see if the comments are coming through. So yeah, I felt like it would be just so invaluable. And the thing with masculine energy men, and the thing with my fiance and just like healthy men, is they're very humble and they feel very uncomfortable with just giving advice if they're not like an expert in that area, right? So like my fiance will always say to me, well, I'm not a dating expert, babe. Like I don't really have anything to offer. And just even in that, I'm like, oh, babe, what do you mean? Like it's the energy. He shows up in the energy. And so, you know, and what is really important for you guys to see and for people to see, and the reason I decided to post it, is that so many people talk about masculine and feminine energy and they're not the embodiment of it. And I stress this in my work because I'm a masculine feminine teacher, right? Oh, someone commented, but I have no idea. Hi, okay, perfect. So many people talk about these concepts, but they're not in the correct energy. And it really is unfortunate, because when we want to learn about femininity, we want to really see how feminine energy shows up. You know, it's an experience, right? Masculinity and femininity is an experience. It's not something that can be taught intellectually. And even in my videos, I try to come off as natural as I possibly can. I don't script my videos. I don't have bullet points. I know about these topics because I am in this energy and I understand men and dynamics. And so I riff on it. And the reason I do that is because that is the most natural, right? Oftentimes women will talk about femininity and you guys will love it because it's very structured and it's very proper, but they're masculine, right? Because when you're truly feminine, your thoughts are everywhere and you're in the moment and you're in the vibe and you feel the most comfortable when there's no structure, right? That's feminine energy. And so if we are learning about feminine energy, we really need to be learning it through the experience of it. That's why, you know, my book, Secrets of the Feminine Woman was written, if you guys read it, it's not even me, it's my soul. It is very experiential and it's not heady. It's a feeling. You're going to be engrossed in a feeling. That's, you know, everyone that writes to me says that, like, you can just really, there's the embodiment aspect of it, and there's that consciousness level there, because I was meant to come into this world to teach about this. So that being said, yesterday, and in my private group, my private VIP group that I run, you know, I come in the group very unfiltered, and I share about my personal experiences in life, and I share about my relationship, and the girls do that as well. So in learning how I show up and navigate situations, the girls are also doing that, and then they're also posting and sharing from their heart, because we want to learn to communicate from the heart, and it's a very safe space to do that. So the reason that I decided to post that video was I thought, you know what, I was rewatching the video with my fiance, and you know, I just love our interactions, and we always say, and I always say, I wish there was a camera following us so people could just see how we are. And I woke up this morning and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna share it, right? And I was nervous to do that, and the reason I was nervous to do it is because a lot of women can get triggered by true femininity, right? I had a woman write, oh, this is so cringe, and I removed that comment because I don't want you guys, when you're watching the interaction between my fiance and I, to be tainted by negative comments like that, because that is love. Like, the interaction between my partner and I is love, right? That is the masculine and I was the feminine. And so a lot of women feel uncomfortable with the true feminine embodiment. When a woman is just showing up feminine, it triggers something, which is why sometimes it's more comfortable to show up with masculine teachers or women that are more masculine, because we can relate to that shell, right? And for myself, the work for me is to show up more and more and more just like myself. And those of you guys that actually want to be in your feminine can like resonate with that and will love it. And those of you that won't, that's all good. You can go find another teacher, right? But the reason that I wanted to come in today and specifically talk to you guys about that video and like teach a little bit about that video is the communication aspect, and how to communicate with men. And what I want you guys to do once you guys watch this video is go back and look at the dynamic between Peter and I. So this is what's really important. So we talk about masculine and feminine energy all the time, and a lot of coaches and people will like intellectualize it, right? But like, what is it? Like, how does it appear, right? And that video is, there's so much teaching in that video without teaching, okay? So I wanna go into that a little bit with you guys, and specifically the way that I show up with my fiance. So we always talk about feminine energy as like a few of the things that we talk about is like, okay, well, being light, etc., and my energy or the vibe, right? So in that video with my fiance and I, you can see that you can see the way that I show up with him, right? You can see how light I am, how carefree I am, and you can see Peter. So Peter is a very healthy, masculine energy man, right? He's an athlete. He's very, he's more closed. So in the video, you can see that him and I'm more open, and he is more reserved, right? And the way that I was communicating with him was enabling him to open up. So this is, you know, we talk about opening, like feminine energy opens up the masculine energy man, right? So that was like an example of it. And I'm going to get into a little bit more here, but I was doing that in the video. And so because my fiance is not comfortable showing up like sharing or showing up on camera or anything like that, the way that I was able to open him up to answer some questions is very important to see, because he's not an arrogant man. He's not a man that's like, look at me, I want attention, I know best, right? By the way, that's not masculine energy. That's the unhealthy masculine energy. That is insecure. That is the energy that just wants attention, right? That's not healthy masculinity. Healthy masculinity is very humble, very loyal, very loving, very relaxed, very chill, very supportive, and closed, right? So the masculine energy is going to be closed and the feminine energy is going to be open. Now, in terms of communication, this is also very important to understand. And again, I'm going to talk about it here, but you have to go look at the video to see it. Because again, these energies are it's experiential. You have to feel it. You have to feel a woman is feminine. A woman can't say I'm feminine if you don't feel that she's feminine. And please download Secrets of the Feminine Woman. I swear this book will change your life. It's me. This book is me, right? There's different components to femininity. It's not just being light and things like that. I talk about the firmness in femininity. There's other components of feminine energy and why Peter loves me so much that I get into in that book, right? But the nature of feminine energy is something that needs to be experienced, right? And so in terms of the communication, I'll do my best to explain it to you guys here, but then you guys can go look at our interaction. That will give you more of a understanding of what I'm saying. So as I said, I am more open. Peter's more closed. When I went and did the video, and in my private group specifically, I go in live whenever I want. Yesterday I was like in my nightie, right? It's random. It's whenever I have a ping, I go in, right? And then I share my thoughts and things about anything, right? So yesterday, we were voicing, and I have a voice that Peter and I did for my client Lindsay, which is like so good, right? Oh, I get so excited when I do this stuff with him because it's so good. It feels so good, right? So we were voicing a private client of mine about her situation. And I was like voicing her in terms of what to do with this guy. And Peter was also giving me his insight. And then I was saying, babe, here, you say this to Lindsay. And then he gets uncomfortable, right? And I said to him, I was like, well, babe, don't think about you and don't think about me. Think about her. Like, it's going to help her if you give her your insight, right? And then that helped him get out of his head, right? Because of course, masculine energy is in their head. Feminine energy isn't in their head. So as you guys can see here, I'm not in my head. This was not planned. Nothing is planned. When I'm really in my energy, it's not planned. It's just, I have an insight to come do this and then I go and do it, right? I'm not in my head. I'm in my body. I'm in the moment, okay? Masculine energy is in their head. So Peter was in his head a little bit. And so that's when I said to him, okay, babe, think about her. You're going to be helping her. And of course, with masculine energy, they want to be the hero and they want to help, right? So as soon as I said that, that got him out of his head and more into who he is. He's an embodied masculine man. He went into his body and he went and he was giving her advice. And it was great. And Lindsay was so happy. And then we came home, like we had gone on a walk with Milo. And we came home and he was just, I don't know, he was doing something in the kitchen. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go live. I'm going to go live in the group, right? And he didn't know what I was doing. He thought I was just like checking myself in the mirror. So what you guys saw, what I posted was real. All of that interaction was real. I didn't edit it. The only thing I did was try to put stickers on my clients, certain of the women's names, just to respect their privacy, right? But I didn't edit it. I didn't do anything. I didn't take any of the comments out. I just left it as is, right? And so I went into the group and he had no idea I was going to do that. And I just started to talk, right? I started to share about the situation that had happened. And then he started to share his insights. Now, the reason that he was able to be in his body a little bit more is because it wasn't planned. The moment I say to him, babe, let's do a video and like, let's go and like communicate about this and this and this, he's not going to be in his energy. He's going to be in his head, right? He's going to be thinking about like what to say, what to do versus just being his natural self. And his natural self is perfect. Like it's perfect. You guys saw how excited I was getting in the video when he was sharing his thoughts about stuff because it's perfect, right? Now, this is what I want you guys to keep in mind in terms of how I show up. I am almost 40 years old. I'm going to be 40 in January, okay? Peter is 41, so I'm 40. And I'm very educated. So I'm certified as a relationship and dating coach, just so you guys know. I'm a certified master NLP trainer. I'm a lawyer. I'm like very accomplished. I have my master's. I'm very, very accomplished, okay? When I'm communicating with Peter, does it look like I'm showing up as an expert? Or does it look like I'm just oblivious in life and I'm trying to get his input? So this is what I want you guys to really, really recognize. Like, I am very accomplished. I'm a very smart woman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm very wealthy. I have my shit together. Let's just put it that way. I'm a very smart woman, right? I don't lead with that though, because who cares? I don't lead with that. I say that because I want you guys to know, as a professional woman, for those of you guys that are professional women, you can be professional and still be feminine, right? And that's the reason I say this, because there's so many misconceptions around femininity, right? Feminine women are very ambitious and very smart and very educated. They are not wounded. Wounded is, I just want to sit back and be saved. That is not feminine energy, right? We can want to be taken care of by a man. I want to be taken care of by Peter, and he does that. But I don't have a expectation energy that I'm just going to sit back and do nothing in my life and I'm going to let a man take care of me, because I would never be able to attract a healthy embodied masculine man, because a healthy embodied masculine man doesn't want that. So Peter is an athlete. He played professional golf. He toured the world. My ex was a professional lawyer. Has his own law firm now. Healthy embodied men don't want to save a woman, right? They want to be with a woman that can hold their own and that is accomplished and is confident and is not over reliant on him. So I very much need my partner, and I very much value him and all of that. But it is not a needy vibe. So this is the difference. And in my communication with him, and what I want you guys to see particularly, and the reason I'm telling you about all my accomplishments is because when you guys watch my interactions with Peter, you might not be able to tell, right? Because in my interactions with him, I am very girly. Right? And Peter is very masculine. He's very manly, right? And even in terms of the way that I was speaking with him, even though I knew the answers to everything, because guys, this is what I do. I know men inside and out, right? This is what I do. This is not even, forget about the certifications. I just know men, right? Sometimes people will be like, what are your certifications? That doesn't matter. That's ego, right? And even with Peter doesn't need a certification to be masculine. He just is, right? If you are very healthy and you train and you keep your body very clean and you're very good with your nutrition and your body shows that, you don't need a certificate. Screw the certifications. That's all ego stuff, right? You show up in the energy, or you show up in a certain way, and the opposite sex is going to gravitate towards you. That's who you want to follow as a coach, right? You want to follow, is this person attractive in her energy and her vibe? Does she know what she's talking about? Does the opposite sex want her, right? And vice versa with a man. As a man, a man is not going to follow another man that he does not think women want, right? So the reason I'm giving you guys this context is when I'm speaking with Peter and when I'm trying to get him to reveal certain answers for you guys, because I know it's valuable, hearing it from me is one thing. Hearing it from Peter is another thing. Seeing our interaction is a whole other thing, right? It's a whole other thing, especially in the moment, right? So the way I'm going to do that is I lean back, I step back. And you guys could see that. You guys could see in the video how I'm asking Peter questions, right? I'm asking him questions as if I don't know. I'm not an expert, because I'm not an expert. He's the man, right? He's the man. I'm not the man. So you tell me what your insights are. And then when I'm getting those insights from him, I'm getting really excited. Do you guys see that? I was just like, oh my God. And I was so excited. So I'm like validating him. And again, this is not games. This is just how I am. This is just how I show up. This is how my life is with him. And when I'm with him, I am very lighthearted. I am very goofy. I'm rarely serious with him. The only time I'm serious is if he's messed up or something's happened, and then I'm firm and I will remove myself. And he knows this, right? And I can get into this stuff with you guys more privately. This is not something I really want to share publicly, but there's no reason for me to ever be firm. And now in my communication with him, I don't nag. I don't go, Peter, you have to do this. You're not doing this. I don't do that. I don't scold him. I don't interview him like this. Peter, so if this and this happened, how would you respond? I don't do that. I just act like a girl. I act curious and like a girl. And I open up a conversation for him to reveal himself and reveal his truth, right? So this is what I was doing. In terms of communicating with a man, you never want to emasculate them. You never want to put them down. You want to step back in who you are with him. Meaning, when I'm with him, even though he says to me, well, you're the relationship expert, I don't care. I don't act like that. There's no titles. When I'm with my man, I'm a woman. That's it. That's it. And the reason that men are so in love with me, and you can see this in Peter, is because when I'm with him, I'm just his woman. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm nothing. My everything is to the backseat of him, right? And I bring him to the front, meaning you guys can see in my interactions with him that I was really trying to highlight the things he was saying. And I was really getting happy and excited when he was sharing his thoughts about stuff. I wasn't acting like a know-it-all. I wasn't acting like, in fact, if you guys look at the video, you wouldn't even know if I was a relationship expert, right? Because again, if I want him to take the lead in sharing experiences that are valuable to you guys, and I am acting like an interviewer, that's not going to feel good to him, right? That's not going to feel good to him. So what feels good to him is just me being my light self and being open, right? And asking him questions and making him feel like you're the man, you're the hero, you're the expert, you tell us, and then validating that, right? So this is just the way that masculine energy is. In my interactions with men, any interaction, right? Anyone that reaches out to me, unless they're asking for my expert opinion on their relationship, I never, ever, ever act like I know anything. Ever, because it's not my place. Unless specifically someone asks me, books a call with me, books an email session with me, and says, Farine, I would love your input on this, I don't put that hat on. The hat that is on is I'm a woman, I'm a feminine woman, I'm happy, I'm appreciative, and thank you. That's it. So when you communicate like that with men, what happens is they feel very good to be around you as a woman, and they feel like men, right? So if you guys can see in the interaction with Peter, like I'm so laid back and I'm so girly, and what happens with him and what you guys can see is he's so much of a man, right? And he feels good. He feels very good in my presence because I'm not trying to take his role. So I'm not trying to take his role as in any way. I'm not trying to take the masculine role. So even in this sort of setting where I am the expert and that is what I do, I'm not trying to take his role, because in my interaction with him, my place is behind him. I'm his woman. That's it. So I think it was really helpful for you guys to see that. And I think if this is something that you guys love, and him and I do this more, you guys will be able to really see how I am with him, because the way that I am here, the way that I am in life, and again, I am very feminine regardless, but the way that you'll really see what true feminine energy is the way that a woman is with a man. That's it. So if you're following a relationship expert that's single and that's been single for a while, don't follow her, because a feminine woman wants to be with a man, right? My titles, my everything mean nothing to me without my partner, right? Feminine energy women respect their partner and want to be with their partner and put their partner, have a high degree for their partner. So what that means is, it doesn't mean that I don't consider myself a prize. I absolutely do. But the reason I consider myself that is because I know how to be a woman with my partner, and most women don't know how to do that. So he would not have that experience with another woman. So that's the reason I hold myself as such a high regard. But in my relationship with him, I don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder. I walk around very soft and very feminine, right? Let me see if there's any comments in here, because I can't see them because this phone is, okay, let me just see. Audio is great. How many books I've written 2 books. I did co-author a book a while ago, and that's on Amazon. Love that. And what happens if he talks more than you? I don't know. So that's, for me, if a man is talking more than the woman, he's more in his feminine, right? I'm a talker. Like those, you know, my clients that know me know I'm a talker. You guys can see in the dynamic that I'm a talker. Peter and men I've been with, like because I'm more in my feminine, so I'm like the talker, but men that I've been with, they are more reserved, right? They open up because I'm open, right? So like I'm open, and so therefore it enables them to open up. But they're not an open book, right? Like they need to feel safe enough with a woman to open up, right? The video with your fiance was great. A lot learned by his answers. He said a lot without saying much. Exactly, he said a lot without saying much. Yeah, men will show they want you by action, no action. Love that. Same here. Yes, exactly. So men, and in the video, and I guess this is another video for another day, but what I just really wanted to show you guys, and what I wanted to sort of integrate with you guys after that interaction that you saw with me and Peter, is that the way that I communicate with him, the way that I show up with him, right? I don't show up as a professional woman. I don't show up contrived. I don't show up rigid. I don't show up closed. I'm in my feelings. I'm warm. I'm happy. I'm excited. That's what I want you guys to see. That's my interactions with him, right? And that's what enabled him to open up there for you guys, and his energy, just so you guys can, if you guys can see, because the polarity just in the video, so just that in and of itself is so, put this down, just like the polarity that you guys can see, you guys should be able to see it. You know, people talk about polarity and attraction and all these things. It's there, it's all there in the video, right? It's in his energy, it's in his like demeanor, you know, the way he's looking at me, his answers to stuff, and my excitement toward him, right? It's all there in the video. Question about emergencies. I was in a situation where I was struggling with communication and getting help. They rescued me, but it's been a very long time before it crumbled. Is that okay? I don't really understand what that question means. What can I talk about with a man if we come from different backgrounds and almost have nothing in common, but he keeps asking me out? I'm not sure. I feel like with these questions, sometimes I would need more specifics. Like as an example, I guess even in the video, you know, in terms of like speaking about like this, in terms of like dating, Peter and I don't have a lot in common with that, because this is like my job, it's not his job, and he feels very uncomfortable. But when you just share your hurt, you show your passion, you share your interest with someone, it's gonna excite them, right? Like when I was dating Peter, and you guys get the books are gonna be so helpful. And in What Men Want, I probably talk about this in what Men Want, but because I'm a masculine feminine energy teacher and I'm also a lawyer, but when I was dating Peter earlier on, before we got engaged, in the very beginning of our dating stage, I was talking to him about masculine feminine energy. Like I was telling him about all this. And I remember we were at dinner and he said to me, "You're my favorite." And we started talking about this stuff, and he didn't really know about this stuff because, again, like he's not someone that looks up healing. He's not a wounded man, right? He just is. So he didn't really know much about this. And because I have such a passion for it, because this is like what I teach, we would just talk about it, right? You don't really need to think about what to talk about. Like if you're thinking about what to talk about, you're in your head. You need to just be passionate about your own life and not worry so much about him. Just share yourself. And the more you share yourself, the more that will invite someone else to engage in the conversation. So think less about him and be more in the moment, be more in the present, right? And when it comes to communication and things like that, women are the leaders in communication. It's not the men, right? So if a man is leading in the conversation, very likely you are more in your masculine and you are more closed, and he is more in his feminine and he's more open, because it really shouldn't be that way. Advice for someone who's lost respect for their husband because of exchanged words that were hurtful. How do we communicate when we are tired of communicating? It's hard to, you guys, if you guys have a specific question and you don't want to book a call with me because it's, you know, it's a little bit more expensive, email me your specific question. It's $97. It's super affordable. And then you can send me an email and outline everything for me. Just tell me the exact situation, like tell me the situation, like how long were you together? What was the situation? And then I will give you an email response back, probably the same day, if not the next day. And if I need more clarification, I'll email you to let you know, right? It's such a great way for me to get into specific situations with you because it's hard for me to do that here without knowing the situation, right? I don't know what the situation is. I don't know, like, if you were closed, if something happened, was it him? Like, it's hard for me to answer that. I just want to see if there's anything else here. It's Descent Mean Week. Love this live stream. Can you please do a video about how a woman can allow herself to receive? Because like sometimes we get so used to being independent. Yeah, for sure. That's a great thing. And I will definitely do a video about how to receive. The more that you become comfortable in your femininity, so Secrets of the Feminine Woman would be good for you. And also inner work, right? The more inner work the more inner work you do, and my inner work course can help you guys with that as well. But what happens is, the more inner work you do, the easier it is to show up in the energy that you are, right? So oftentimes women, we have our core energy, right? Or we have like this mask, right? But sometimes what happens is we've had so much trauma in our life that we can't show up in our correct energy. So feminine energy is open, right? But what will happen sometimes, and I'm giving you guys as an example, I was very uncomfortable sharing the video of Peter and I because I'm very raw, I'm very real, and you can get a lot of negativity, right? You can get a lot of negativity when you're really open because a lot of people want inauthenticity, right? And I'm not inauthentic, so it's uncomfortable. But the more inner work you do, the more that you are able to just be open as you are, and when you're open as you are, you're also able to receive, right? When I feel good about myself, I feel confident about myself as a woman, then when I'm seen like that and I'm validated, I'm like, oh, like it's like feels so good because I'm giving that to myself. So Secrets of the Feminine Woman would be really good for you to understand how to do that, because I go into the inner child there. I teach you how to like do that within yourself. And then the step above that would be to do my inner work course. That was a course that I ran for 6 months, and it was thousands and thousands of dollars. And the reason that I'm offering this course now at a discounted rate is because I'm not going to be doing group work anymore. So I want everyone that can't work with me privately to have access to learn how to do their own inner work, because you guys can do it yourself. You guys just need the awareness, right? And again, as women, we're designed to be in partnership. So this is the one thing I want to say to you guys. We are not designed to be alone for a long time, and I don't recommend it. So you can be independent. So before I met Peter, I was in a relationship for 7 years with my ex, who was a lawyer, and you know, we ended, and I was single for 1.5 years. I was healing exactly the things I teach you guys I was doing within myself, and then I met my fiance, right? So women should not be alone for more than 1.5 years, 2 years. Like, it doesn't matter how long your previous relationship was. And the reason I say that is you want time to heal, absolutely. And you want to be okay being alone, absolutely. And you want to love being alone, absolutely. But we are designed to be in partnership, right? We're designed to be in partnership. So the masculine can be alone, right? Like masculine energy is independent. But feminine energy, we really want to be comfortable wanting to be with a man, right? So if we are single for a long period of time, there's fear there, there's trauma there, and that's something that we want to look at, right? So we want to look at that, and then we also want to look at if we can't be alone and we're consistently dating, right? Both of those extremes are not healthy, right? How should I deal with a guy I'm dating, wants to take a break, told me he needs time alone? Email me your question. I don't want to respond that here because there's like a gazillion questions I have. So email me. You can purchase the question and then email me your question. I would want to know how long you guys were dating, who initiated, what he said exactly, and then I'll give you my specific feedback after that, okay? I don't even know how to receive gifts from a man without feeling like now I have to get something too, so we're even. I wouldn't feel comfortable receiving gifts from a man either unless we had a relationship where like that was something we did, because again, when we are taking something from someone, sometimes there's an expectation. So we really want to look at the nature of that relationship, right? So if my fiance is getting me gifts or partners are getting me gifts, like I love that because I love being taken care of. I love being provided for. Sometimes men will reach out to me here and say, can I buy you a coffee? It's so helpful what you're doing for me. And I will graciously accept that because yes, I am doing a lot of free work in the world and that feels good to me, right? But if I'm going on a date with someone and I don't really know them and they're offering me a gift, I would feel very uncomfortable with that because like there's like an expectation there and I wouldn't feel comfortable with that, right? So it really, again, like it depends on the specifics, always matter, right? Basically, if a man that you are seeing sees you sick or at your worst, the rescued, will that break the bond or strengthen it? So I talked about this in my private group a year ago. I got very, very sick and I can't believe I'm saying this publicly. So this just must mean I'm getting very comfortable with myself because I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really just want you guys to know how a man shows up, right? It was maybe a year into our dating. I don't even know when. If any of my clients are here, you guys can write in when that happened. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I got very sick. I have a dairy allergy. And we went to a few events that day and I had a lot of dairy and I got very sick. So in the middle of the night, I like couldn't even make it to the bathroom and I started throwing up and going to the bathroom. Okay, let's just like, I just want to be real with you guys. And I was literally like in the bathroom and throwing up and doing the other thing, right? And it was everywhere. I know this sounds gross, but I just want you guys to know how a masculine man shows up. I got sick. I got very, very sick. And Peter, this was 3-4 o'clock in the morning, went into action, was cleaning everything up, making sure that my dog didn't get into anything and taking care of me, putting me in the shower and like just being there for me, right? I would say that strengthened everything, especially for me, because that is the most vulnerable a woman could ever show up, right? I was extremely sick and it was everywhere, right? And the fact that he just sprung into action and made sure I was okay and was not embarrassed by anything, didn't feel uncomfortable, and no attraction or anything was lost, right? Because his whole thing was, oh my God, I love Farine and she's sick, right? And I let him take care of me. So that's not really a rescue. That's just him taking care of me and doing technically his duty as a man when I'm sick. And that's what healthy masculine men want to do, right? They want to take care of you when you can't get taken care of. So I would say it brought us closer. And I would say that it really made me see what a great husband he's going to be, right? Friend, how can I ask for a man's income whom I am dating for marriage without sounding rude or intrusive? Good question. So what I would do is, I would gather information. So when you're on a date with him and when you're speaking with him, I wouldn't so much ask their income. I never did that, but a man will sort of know where you're at. So like if I'm going on an app and I'm a lawyer and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm doing all these things, a man can tell, okay, she's ambitious, right? And so a healthy masculine man is also going to want to he's going to want to impress you, right? So you won't even really need to ask his income. And I don't recommend you asking his income because that's, it's rude, right? I never did that. But you can see where he's at, right? And not by superficial things, but does he have an asset? Is he educated? What's his mindset about certain things? Is he ambitious? You'll be able to tell where the man is without asking. I think it's kind of rude to ask, and I've never asked. I wouldn't ask. But again, like, I would only date certain types of men, right? And that's because, like, I'm that, not to be a gold digger, like, I am that. So of course, like, if I am that, I'm going to expect that in a partner, right? Can we be too vulnerable with a man? You can never be too vulnerable with a man. So everything I'm doing with you guys is me being vulnerable. Me also posting that video is me being vulnerable, right? It's hopefully you guys find it attractive, right? So you can never be too vulnerable because vulnerability is attractive. You can be needy though. So you want to see the way that the person is reacting. So when you guys see the video of Peter and I, you guys can see how Peter is with me, right? Like, is he closed or is he like super into me, right? Because I was being vulnerable, right? I don't think you can be too vulnerable, but you can be needy and you could be seeking attention. That's different. If that helps. You are so right. I stopped listening to these coaches that were teaching us how to get a masculine man, but they were single. I decided to follow women that had and practice. Yeah, like, exactly. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong to be single. Like, if something doesn't work out in my relationship, I'll be single, right? But it's not going to be for a long period of time, right? Because again, feminine women are desirable. They're attractive, right? Like, and you guys got to look at, what you have to look at is, am I attracted to this person? Like, is she like attractive? And it's energy. And then you're going to think, are men attracted to her? Right? If the answers to those questions are no, and they're very cold or mean, some of these women are very like cold. Masculine men don't want that. So be careful because again, we don't learn from words. We learn through energy. We learn through modeling, right? We don't learn through words. We don't learn through words. Like, think about children. They don't learn through words. They learn through what they're seeing, right? Like, so that's very good. That's very good that you did that. It's just not healthy. It goes against our subconscious knowing, right? How to communicate with a man who disappeared and now wants to connect months later. I need to know your specific situation. Like, I would need to know specifics, right? The video that Peter and I did and the voice note that we gave to like someone I was working with, they had disconnected and then he was coming around and it was that sort of situation. Although she didn't handle things correctly and she knows that. Like, she kind of went against my coaching, but it's okay because in my work, sometimes the subconscious needs to experience the situation again. So it doesn't matter what I'm saying, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like, if her body needs to go through that experience again for it to solidify, then it has to go through that again, right? So in terms of your situation, I don't know because I need to know, there's so many things I would need to know. So if you email me, I would need to know, how long were you guys broken up? How long were you guys together? Why did you split up? I would need to know all these things. Like, what's the recent communication like? Do you have a recommendation about starting to build new relationships, communication with a widower, with the masculine energy? I'm young widow too. We're both in our early 40s. I would read What Men Want, because in What Men Want, I talk about men and commitment fears and how to approach men and how to, like, their different stages. And I think that would be helpful for you because it's going to be a sensitive situation there and he's going to be a little bit more reluctant to get into something, right? So you just want to make sure you handle it properly, and I get into that more there, right? Have you said how you met your husband? Dating app. I met on a dating app. And the funny thing is, and I get into this more in What Men Want, and Peter also writes about that as well, but I never met anyone on a dating app before like that. My previous partner, we were at the same law firm. I've never met anyone on an app like that, right? And I didn't even think it was possible because it takes me a long time to get comfortable with someone. But again, in What Men Want, I talk about the stages. I talk about how long it took. And in the video, Peter talked about he knew I was the one, right? When he met me, he knew. And I get into that more in the book, like what he's talking about there. So you can meet someone anywhere, right? We met on a dating app. We met on Hinge, actually. Katie, that's a great question. I'm just gonna go through this. Are you guys okay if I'm in here still? I wasn't expecting to be on this long. I love that you encourage us to be real and our authentic selves. Oh, good. Yes. You got to be your real and authentic self. And men don't want games. So you want to be real and authentic, and you want to trust that the right people are going to resonate with you and the wrong people are just going to go away. And you want that. You don't want, and Peter said that in the video too. If a guy's not interested, you want to know that, because you don't want to consistently have to like try to make someone like you, right? This is similar to my story. Thanks, friend. Oh, you're welcome. I will relax more going forward. Good. It's best not to let a man see you sick in the beginning. I have never let my boyfriend see me sick, and he's obsessed with me. Once a man marries you, then he can see everything. So I disagree. I was sick in the beginning, but I never complained. So like there were a few times I got a cold, I got sick here and there. If you're sick, you're sick, like, right? You don't want to complain. You want to be your authentic self, right? So you don't want to not be your authentic self. When I say I got sick, it wasn't like, I don't have like any sort of illness. I just got sick. And if I'm going to get sick, I'm going to get sick, right? I want to know how my partner is going to show up when I'm sick, because I don't want to marry my partner if my partner can't handle me when I'm sick. So like, I respectively disagree with that. And again, that communication I want you guys to know something in terms of that comment. That communication is saying how something is, right? It's essentially telling me how to be or what to do. And in this situation, I'm the expert. So that's very, very masculine in terms of the communication. It's very different if you're asking, Freen, what do you think of this? Blah, blah, blah. That's the more feminine approach. If it works for you, great. But I disagree, because I think it's very, very important to show up real and authentic in the dating process, not only for you, but also for a man. I don't think it's fair to be sick or hide anything and then get married and then show a man how you are. Like, that's really unfair, because people should know what they're signing up for. And that's what I believe about that. I am curious why I start to push a guy away when he's masculine. Read What Men Want, or just email me and I can get into like what your specific behaviors are in terms of what you're doing specifically, right? I met a man, he's a healthy masculine, but sometimes his extreme independence frightens me. I keep asking myself, will he be able to commit if he's so independent? All masculine men are very independent. My partner's so independent. He's so busy, like crazy busy. My ex is also so busy. Masculine men, this is the thing with them, is they're very independent. But again, if they love you, and Peter said this in the video, it doesn't matter how busy they are, they're gonna make it work, right? Like anyone I've ever been with, they're very, very busy, more busy than me. But like, if you're a woman that feels good to be around, you're a man's respite, and so they're going to want to be with you, right? So if they're not with you or they're making excuses, there's something else going on. And all men also want to commit, right? As a relationship progresses, then you can become more and more vulnerable and show him all sides of you. I was vulnerable from the beginning. I don't play games. I am just myself. So in me just being my goofy, lighthearted self, that's being vulnerable. I show all sides of myself in the beginning so that a man can choose what he wants to do. So yeah, I disagree with that. What if a man is texting a lot but doesn't call, also isn't stepping up and getting bored, although he is masculine and interesting? So I would read What Men Want. There shouldn't be a lot of texting or anything like that until there's a commitment. And there should not be a lot of calls or anything like that until there's a commitment, right? And I get into that more in the book. They speak of commitment often, but it was not a situation where I could hide. I'm not really sure what that question is. That reply was okay, perfect. Okay, I think I went through all the questions. It was really nice to see you guys, and I hope this video was valuable. Always remember, embodiment trumps everything. And in terms of communication with men, you don't want to be a teacher. You don't need to coach him. You don't need to be his therapist. You don't want to tell him what to do. You don't want to be an expert. You just want to become more and more of yourself, because the more and more you are of yourself, the more you're going to show up in your energy. If that's feminine, that's going to make a man feel good. And yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I love you, and I speak to you soon.